Xiao Yan's feet paused outside of the region filled with black lightning. His eyes studied the black thunderbolts that clustered together before shock involuntarily flashed across them. Who would have expected black demon lightning, which could only be attracted after a Tier 9 medicinal pill was refined, to exist in such vast numbers in this pool? This world was indeed filled with all sorts of mysteries. Xiao Yan was not unfamiliar with this black demon lightning. He had once summoned it after refining a pill back at the small pill tower. However, that black demon lightning was insignificant when compared to the black demon lightning in this lightning pool. Fortunately, Xiao Yan's strength far surpassed what it had been back then. Otherwise, he would only have been able to flee after seeing such a number of black demon lightning. The strength of nature is indeed unpredictable. Xiao Yan shook his head, but he did not immediately let the Northern King absorb the lightning strength. There was a lot of black demon lightning in this place. If one carelessly activated all of them, they would be a little troublesome to deal with. Hence, he sat down outside of the black demon lightning region with his legs crossed and began to observe the situation within the lightning pool. This observation lasted for an hour. An hour later, Xiao Yan finally sighed in relief after confirming that no accidents had occurred. A thought passed through his mind. The Northern King behind him took a step forward without any hesitation and slowly headed to the deepest part of the lightning pool. Bang! The Northern King immediately attracted the attention of a black demon lightning after he entered the deepest part of the lightning pool. 100-foot-large black thunderbolt, resembling a giant python, slowly wiggled above the head of the Northern King. A sizzling lightning glow was emitted from the body of this black demon lightning. Under the control of Xiao Yan's mind, the Northern King halted before lifting its head to look at the black thunderbolt, after which it slowly extended its hand and touched the lightning. The black demon lightning did not dodge this attack. Instead, it appeared to have been provoked. It moved and ruthlessly smashed into the Northern King's arm. The Northern King's black metal-like body suddenly unleashed a strange suction force after the black demon lightning touched its arm. It actually sucked the black demon lightning into its body. Chi. The Northern King's hair stood up like many needles after the black demon lightning was brutally dragged into its body. Circular black sparks continued to wildly flicker around its body. A strange sound was continuously emitted, causing this somewhat quiet part of the lightning pool to appear exceptionally deafening. Xiao Yan's eyes were somewhat anxious as observed the Northern King lingering within the black lightning. A moment later, a joy surged into his eyes. He sensed the unusually wild and violent strength of the black demon lightning madly rage within the Northern King's body before finally merging with it. That wild and violent energy invaded the Northern King's muscles, bones, cells. The lightning strength was indeed effective on the Northern King. Under this refinement, the originally black body of the Northern King had become a little duller. The muscles on its body filled with a strength visible to the eye. The effect is quite good. The energy from the black demon lightning had ultimately merged with the Northern King's body. This merger caused Xiao Yan to feel some joy. Before a smile could surface on his face, all the hairs on his body ended up standing up. He lifted his head, only to find that many huge black bolts of lightning had encircled the Northern King's body like huge dragons. Crackling sparks flashed. The lightning was filled with a wild and violent force that numbed one's head. They were still attracted. Xiao Yan helplessly shook his head once the lightning moved. A thought passed through his mind, and the Northern King, which had been surrounded by many bolts of black demon lightning, suddenly pressed its foot down on empty space. Its body was like a cannonball as it shot forth. Boom! The actions of the Northern King had undoubtedly detonated the stalemate. The many bolts of black demon lightning moved at the same time. Many huge black thunderbolts chased the Northern King at a shocking speed, after which One of them ruthlessly smashed into the Northern King's body. Bang! A black demon lightning collided with the Northern King's body. The bolt of lightning disappeared in a flash and was absorbed by the Northern King. But the huge force from the thunderbolt sent the Northern King flying for tens of thousands of feet. This kind of strength caused Xiao Yin to feel speechless. Even an ordinary one-star Do Shang would feel a headache after being assaulted by one of these bolts of black demon lightning. Fortunately, the Northern King physical body had already reached a relatively frightening level. It didn't even lose a hair after being sent flying by tens of thousands of feet. After which, Xiao Yin made it sit down, allowing the many huge strands of black demon lightning to charge into it. Bang, bang, bang. Clear, loud sounds repeatedly appeared within the deepest part of the lightning pool. Numerous tendrils of black demon lightning pounced on the Northern King like many huge dragons, but each time the black demon lightning came in contact with the puppet's body, a black glow would flash before disappearing. Subsequently, the black lightning arcs flashing around the Northern King's body became even denser. Xiao Yin clicked his tongue and praised as he watched this assault from outside the deepest region. His heart felt extremely comfortable. The strength of the Northern King's physical body had even surprised him. The ancient Void Dragon's body was extremely outstanding to begin with, and this Northern Dragon King was considered one of the top individuals among them. After devouring the Western and Southern Dragon Kings, the strength of the Northern Dragon King had been raised even further. If one were to simply compare the strength of one's physical body, it was likely that even Zi Yin would be somewhat inferior to the mutated Northern Dragon King. Of course, Xiao Yin also understood that when Zi Yin's Dragon Phoenix bloodline completely activated, no one in the whole world would be able to compare with the strength of her body. After being strengthened through various procedures and the refinement of the purifying demonic lotus flame, the physical body of this Northern King was relatively frightening. Hence, it did not show any signs of reaching its limit even after absorbing so many bolts of black demon lightning. This puppet could be considered an ultimate creation. The sky demon puppets that he had obtained back in the Do Shang remains where the great heaven creation palm had come from were piles of trash. The body was the most important material when it came to refining puppets. After the puppet was successfully refined, it would not be able to use Do Qi, so it could only rely on its physical body. However, a strong body like the body of the Northern Dragon King was extremely hard to find. The owner of the Do Shang remains actual strength was likely far inferior to the Northern Dragon King. Naturally, the ingredients selected by him would not be top quality. According to this speed, the Northern Dragon King's strength should become a 6-star Do Shang within half a month. Xiao Yin smiled. This rate was extremely shocking, but he soon slowly withdrew his focus. He was preparing to shut his eyes and recuperate when an arm-sized black demon lightning unconsciously drifted over. Finally, it collided with his body in front of his stunned eyes. This tiny black demon lightning naturally did not pose much harm to Xiao Yin. A pink fire seedling swept out of his body when the lightning made contact. Then, the flame devoured that black demon lightning. The flame and the lightning caused Xiao Yin to feel slightly startled. He was just about to study the interaction of the black demon lightning when he suddenly sensed an unusually pure energy surge into his body. Finally, this energy spread throughout his limbs. Moreover, Xiao Yin was stunned to find that this pure energy contained a slight, numbing feeling when it flowed by his internal organs. Sparks of an electric flow quietly invaded him, causing the organs in his body to emit an unusually relaxed feeling. This is the devouring power of the Nihility devouring flame. This sudden energy caused Xiao Yin to feel startled. Iwa, delicious. A fire glow flashed onto Xiao Yan's shoulder. A cute palm-sized lily appeared. He widened its bright big eyes as he looked at those black demon lightning in the distance. A somewhat transparent glob actually appeared at the corner of his mouth before he hurriedly wiped at it away. He then sucked with his small mouth, and an unusual devouring power erupted. Over a dozen bolts of black demon lightning from a short distance away swiftly rushed toward Xiaoyan as though they had been swept over by a tornado. They were then devoured by little E on Xiaoyan's shoulder. Chi-chi. Some black-colored lightning arcs flashed over Little Yi's body after he swallowed the dozen-plus strands of black demon lightning together. At the same time, a shockingly pure energy once again materialized within Xiaoyan's body without warning. Finally, it scattered to his limbs and bones. This time around, Xiaoyan had gained an understanding of the source of this energy. His heartbeat suddenly quickened. The blood demon lightning was extremely violent. Even though the energy within it was extremely shocking, he had never dared to even think of absorbing it. He might possess the purifying demonic lotus flame, but this thought had still never crossed his mind. However, Little E possessed a tiny bit of the devouring power of the Nihility devouring flame and was able to absorb this energy. Gulp! Xiaoyan's throat slowly rolled. After the energy, which caused his body to feel numb, quietly merged with his body, he discovered that his strength, which had not increased ever since he had left the demonic flame realm, had once again slightly increased. Xiaoyan stiffly lifted his head. He looked at the densely packed cluster of black demon lightning in the distance as an extremely heated expression suddenly filled his eyes. Since Little E could refine and devour black demon lightning, which was lethal in the eyes of others, these bolts had become a perfect source of nourishment in his eyes. All of these are mine. Xiaoyan licked his lips somewhat greedily as a joyous low roar was emitted from his throat. Within the empty realm lightning pool, Xiaoyan forcefully suppressed the excitement in his eyes after a long while. He looked at Little E on his shoulder. The only one who could endure the black demon lightning's wild and violent energy assault was this fire spirit. The crystal droplet on the corner of Little Yi's mouth became even denser when Xiaoyan glanced over. He immediately rubbed his flabby hands on his face and flew forward. Finally, he appeared in the air above a cluster of black demon lightning. A circular pink flame that emitted a devouring power spread from his body. Any strand of the black demon lightning that touched this fire circle would meet a suction force that could not be resisted. They were unable to escape regardless of how they struggled. Finally, all of them flew along the edges of the fire circle before entering Little Yi's small body. Crackle! The surface of Little Yi's body began to flicker with many black arcs after the many bolts of black demon lightning had been devoured. The black demon lightning that entered his body was swiftly refined by the purifying demonic lotus flame and then turned into an extremely pure energy that spread apart. While Little E was wildly devouring the black demon lightning, Xiaoyan remained sitting in the empty space. Wave after wave of an unusually pure and powerful energy began to appear within his body without any warning. He focused his mind and controlled this energy, circulating it along route designated by the flame mantra chi method. Finally, this energy transformed into powerful Do Qi that merged into every part of Xiaoyan's body. Xiaoyan had shut his eyes and had focused his mind. He could clearly hear the countless cells within his body emitting a voice filled with desire and joy as this energy was shuttled around. Just one black demon lightning was comparable to an entire day of training for Xiaoyan. It was impossible to even compare the effectiveness between the two because they were truly vastly different. If it is possible to absorb all of this black demon lightning, it not be difficult to reach the advanced level of the 5th star of the Doshun class. Xiaoyan glanced sideways at the black demon lightning, which filled the deepest parts of the lightning pool, with narrowed eyes. A faint smile lifted onto the corner of his mouth before he shut his eyes. He began to refine and absorb the powerful energy surging from his body at an increased speed. The quiet, deepest parts of the empty realm lightning pool were currently emitting waves of roaring thunder. Many giant python-like black thunderbolts whistled down. Their might covered this area as tens of thousands of thunderbolts moved together. In front of this spectacular spectacle, even an elite Do Shang would feel extremely tiny. There were two whirlpool-like existences within the black lightning sea. Many black thunderbolts whistled around these two spots, causing them to be surrounded. Regardless of how ferocious the bolts were, the two regions were like bottomless pits that could not be filled. All of the bolts of black demon lightning, regardless of quality, would eventually disappear with a black flash of light. Those two gluttonous individuals tirelessly and crazily devoured clusters of black demon lightning. A figure was seated at the edge of the deepest region of this lightning pool. Many black lightning arcs would occasionally flee from his skin, setting off his black clothes and hair, giving him an exceptionally mysterious and unfathomable appearance. This devouring was destined to last for a long time. Fortunately, the amount of lightning within the lightning pool in the empty realm had already reached a relatively frightening extent after evolving over an uncountable number of years. Otherwise, they would have been devoured by these two black hole-like existences within a short period of time. The lightning pool was hidden within the endless empty realm where seldom a person traveled. Even elite Do Shangs, who occasionally barged into this realm, would not dare to simply enter the lightning pool. Hence, Xiao Yan's training progressed unusually smoothly without anyone disturbing him. Time flew by during this training. Within the blink of an eye, 1 month had quietly passed. During this 1 month, there was no telling how many bolts of black demon lightning the Northern King and Little E had devoured. That enormous, seemingly endless devouring caused the number of black demon lightning within the deepest part of this lightning pool to become a lot fainter. Of course, after devouring such a vast amount of black demon lightning, both the Northern King, Little E, and even Xiao Yan had naturally gained incomparable benefits. The Northern King's body had become a slightly deeper shade of black after being refined for an entire month. The black color possessed an unusual demonic force. At a glance, it appeared like a continuously rotating black hole. An attack that landed on it would be devoured by the black hole. The strange black glow lingered around the Northern King's body. From a distance, it appeared as though an extremely thin layer of black-colored armor had been formed on his body. The armor was deep and dark, causing the Northern King to appear a little mysterious. The current body of the Northern King, which could only be described as terrifying, would be able to fight equally with a genuine 6-star Do Shang. Moreover, it had inherited the rich battle experience of the Northern Dragon King, forcing its opponent to truly regard it as an elite 6-star Do Shang. After the Northern Dragon King's body had been strengthened to this level, it seemed to have vaguely touched a limit. Regardless of how it absorbed the black demon lightning, the effect was extremely insignificant. Xiao Yan could only helplessly shake his head. Regardless of how perfect it had been made, a puppet was ultimately a puppet. It was already extremely difficult to strengthen it to such an extent. It would likely be far too difficult to make it even stronger. While the Northern King had obtained a wonderful result, Xiao Yan and Little E, who had madly devoured black demon lightning for a month, had also made significant gains. Xiao Yan had not only risen an initial 5-star Do Shang to an intermediate 5-star Do Shang, he had also reached the peak of the intermediate level. It was not impossible for him to reach the advanced level within a short period of time. As for Little E, his body was still as tiny as before, but it was possible to vaguely see some black lightning arcs flashing through the pink flame on his body. After devouring such a large amount of black demon lightning, tendrils of black demon lightning had actually begun to appear within the purifying demonic lotus flame. This caused the offensive strength of the purifying demonic lotus flame to significantly rise. Xiaoyan was relatively satisfied with his gains, but the problem the Northern King had experienced also occurred to Xiaoyan a month later. After his strength had been raised to the intermediate level of the 5th star of the Doshang class, Xiaoyan's body seemed to have developed a resistance for the black demon lightning. The obvious increase in his strength from earlier had diminished, so he had no choice but to withdraw from his training state. Xiaoyan opened his eyes, which had been shut for a month, ABE. There was also a faint black arc of lightning flashing within them. His mouth was slightly widened as a low lightning roar was emitted from his throat. Air, which contained some black lightning, was released from Xiaoyan's mouth. He stood up as waves of a clear cracking sound were emitted from his body. The majestic and endless strength he felt seemed just like a huge dragon had hidden itself within his muscles. The huge dragon could rise with just a thought and unleash a frightening destructive force that would make one speechless. I was just about to step into the advanced level of the 5th star of the Doshang class. How unfortunate. Xiaoyan briefly examined his body before he shook his head in regret. He beckoned with his hand. A red light and a black light rushed out of the deepest part of the lightning pool. In a flash, it appeared beside Xiaoyan. These lights were the Northern King and Little E, who had been devouring the black demon lightning for a month. Xiaoyan's eyes swept over the Northern King, whose body seemed to be covered in a black crystal. The crystal flickered with a mysterious luster as an aura, which caused even him to feel wary, gradually spread apart, causing others to not want to underestimate it. Perfect! Xiaoyan's finger touched the Northern King's arm. From this touch, he understood that if a huge dragon was hidden in his muscles, there were 10 or more of them hidden in the Northern King's skin. Such a puppet could only be described as perfect. Xiaoyan's eyes shifted to Little E after observing the Northern King. Little E's appearance did not appear to have changed much, but there seemed to be black arcs of lightning present. The Northern King has already reached its limit. The black demon lightning is unable to raise its strength anymore. My body has also begun to form a resistance against the black demon lightning's energy. The effects of continuing to train will greatly diminish. Xiaoyan's mulled over the matter. A moment later, he finally felt like leaving. After having been away for a month, Kailin and the rest would have become a little worried. This might be a good place to train, but it was impossible for him to remain here for much longer. It is time to leave. Xiaoyan softly sighed. He lifted his head and once again glanced at the lightning pool. He had just turned his body when the deepest part of the lightning pool, which had gradually quietened down because Little E and the Northern King had ceased devouring the lightning, suddenly fluctuated. Immediately, black lightning flickered through the pool. They swarmed toward the dark region in the middle from all directions. Xiaoyan was startled after the lightning move. He immediately frowned. His eyes scanned the deepest part of the lightning pool. There seemed to be an unusual pressure growing there. This pressure felt similar to the pressure black demon lightning emitted. However, it was many times stronger. Xiaoyan's eyes stared at that area. His eyes flickered. A moment later, he slowly rose into the air and absorbed Little E into his body. He made the Northern King walk in front of him as they slowly headed toward the dark region. The strange pressure increased as they approached the dark region. In the end, Xiaoyan's footsteps came to a sudden halt. His dark black eyes contained a trace of shock as they stared at the middle of the lightning sea. A huge dragon, which seemed to be made of gold, was entrenched at that spot. Golden thunderbolts shot from the surface of its body. This is the 9 mysterious golden lightning that can only be attracted by a Tier 9 golden pill, highest Tier 9 medicinal pill,